Howdy, folks. My name's Dave, and I'm a woodturner. Welcome to the channel. I think I might be turning some bowls today, probably a hollow form, but I got a couple pieces of wood ready to go. Please feel free to ask any questions. Chat is live, and I have speech to or text to speech happening here, so I can actually hear what's going on, what you put into chat, and that means I don't have to miss anything by not watching the screen. Let me cover up this, whoops, keyboard here. Cool. All right, so I'm going to start off with this. I'm pretty sure this is a piece of elm. It's got all the colorations to it that I'm used to seeing with elm. I'm not positive yet. We'll see once we get to clean raw wood. This is, dusty, dirty stuff. I took most of the bark off. Found that there were still some larvae and there's some beetle holes like there and there. I want to change my camera. So if you look here, this line here is just the dust leavings from the larvae and beetles chewing through underneath the bark. So I got rid of most of the bark, found a couple of live larvae. There's another channel. See some little holes in there. So there's something going on with the wood. It's not completely seasoned, but it's well on the way. So let's see. And I want to make a long, shallow bowl. So I'm going to start off where I usually do, and that is a balance point. And I really prefer, if I get a chance, I really rather prefer to start between centers, because then I can make any adjustments or move the piece around as much as I want to. Okay, so we'll lay this piece up here a little bit. So what I do is I drive the points in on the wood, and then I back them off so the wood is pretty much just spinning freely. And I want to see that no matter where I put it, it doesn't fall. And it looks like it's still a little bit heavy on that end. I want to get as close to the balance point as I can get. That went a little too far. So let's bring this one up a little bit. And what this does is it helps eliminate vibration right away. I'm not really, I might have a little bit of vibration simply because the piece I'm turning is longer than it is wide. But if I get it on a balance point, then it'll spin more or less like a propeller, I guess you could say, in a piece like this. But it helps eliminate the vibration at the very, very beginning, because the vibration is what makes poor cuts or affects your cut in a negative way. Vibration makes it difficult to get wall thicknesses even. While vibration can really mess up like a hollow form, especially you can just bust right through the inside. Or the outside for that matter. So I want to remove as much vibration in the beginning as possible, and then as I'm working down, of course, the theory is that the vibration will lessen more and more and more because we're removing mass. And that looks like I'm on the balance point. So we're going to go with that. Make sure it's secure between centers. And then we can get to turning. Whoops. Looks like I did not cover the keyboard all the way. All right, there we go. So that's fairly secure. I figured I'd turn just a couple of quick bowls. This one's going to be a low shallow one, and then I've got a really nice piece of I think it's honey locust, and then I've got another piece over here for the cross piece for a hollow form. So I am probably going to just blast through this first one, and or maybe I'll just blast through the second one, or both. I don't know. I don't want to call them shortcuts. I guess they kind of are. I am going to use a couple of shortcuts that I've picked up over the years. They do take practice, so you will have the information, but you are, of course, as always, responsible for your own safety and your own judgment. This is kind of advanced turning, so at least what I'm about to do. It's very great instructional stuff. Just requires practice to pull it off pretty nicely. I'm going to, without getting catches and all that, busting things off, I need to move this arm to the other side. I think I'm still at the right spot. Yeah. Make sure everything clears. So I'll explain this a little bit, I guess. I'm going to be doing a combination of a pull and a push cut. I could just go, there's a couple of ways to do this. To round off the corners and get rid of what isn't the turned object. Get rid of some mass. For me, this is just a quicker way of being able to get my handle around the corners there and not violate any cutting rules and still have nice clean cuts. I think I want to have a little bit more this way. All right, so I'm going to take this off now since that is already loose, and here you can see there's a live larva right there chewing its way through. Let's just get rid of all this bark. Oh, there's more than one. Nope, I guess it was just one folded over. All right, you're done, dude. Sorry, man. I was just gonna, well, I was gonna throw you in the trash anyway, but. Okay. So that won't come flying off now. And with enough practice, you can generate really nice curves pretty quickly. Let's see, how far do I gotta go down? Let's find out. See if that gives me enough of a foot for, nope, not quite. Almost. So let's go ahead and define the area for the foot so that I can really start getting the shape of this thing down. So regardless of how it looks, I'm standing I'm doing a push cut. I'm just standing on the inboard side of the tool. Okay, that'll work. But I need to move this guy around. So I'm still cutting downhill to the fibers. Actually, I think I can really define that foot now. Let's see. We'll find out. I may have to take this part down a little bit more, but maybe not. So yeah, I guess I just excuse me. Blow through the second one. Hammer it down just a little bit. And then go through explanations here on this bowl. Basically be the same stuff. I want to make sure I've got a 90-degree shoulder there. I don't know if... Nah, that should be okay. It's a solid piece of elm. Yeah. Just take it down a little bit more. All right. So one of the first things I wanted to get into place is the general shape of this guy. The shape is very, very important. Everybody has a slightly different aesthetic, but everybody wants to turn, well, I don't know if that's actually an adage or not, but most people, when they want to turn something that looks pleasing to the eye, that's the goal. And shape plays a big part of that. So I'm going to play with this curve a little bit more, but I don't really, it's a little too sharp right here. Well, I guess it depends on like how wide I want this thing to go out, but it's got a nice little curved shape there. Actually, I think I'll take it down a little bit more because I want to take in this side and open that side up a little bit, so I'll have to yep, I'm just gonna have to make that foot a little bit deeper, so that's all right. I don't necessarily want to get like the largest piece I can out of a piece of timber. I want to get the best piece I can get, taking advantage of features and all that, of course, but then sometimes we have features like this that we gotta kind of adjust for. Let's see, getting there. Almost there. Okay. Should have got me down to, yeah, I think that'll do all right. I do think I want to take a little bit more. I want to have a natural edge, but oh, I know what I'll do with this. All right, so I'll keep this curve the way it is, or in the area that it's in. I'm going to clean it up. In particular, I'm watching the ghosting on this side instead of trying to see what's happening down here because I've got more shadows. A little bit of scraping and then some shear scraping. And I gotta move my tool rest around the corner here. And with shear scraping, it's, as far as I'm concerned, it's impossible to get a catch. It's a very, very safe cut, and that's why I don't have it in the handle. I don't have to worry about the handle getting in the way. Okay, I think. Need to adjust this a little bit. Scrape is also a very safe cut. Do not get a catch with it. Looking really close. So again, and it's not a heavy-handed movement or a heavy-handed cut, so I can do this without a handle. lot of air with this. I want to keep my shavings very, very small, so light touch. Again, there's all kinds of ways to do this. I'm just trying to avoid, or limit the sanding that I actually have to do. So I've got a really nice surface there. I can sand that. Let me straighten this foot out a little bit for my chuck hold. Nice burnished cut. And then I'm going to do some friction sanding on this dude really quick.
Coffee Stream Bot.
Don't need this either.
Visit Dave West's co-fi page at https://co-fi.com/HIIMDAVE ?
It's fun to listen to that talk. Okay. Since I'm sanding, I'm going to put my mask on. Really like to get like a self-contained face shield with the belt-mounted air cleaner. Pumps it in, so you have positive pressure inside your mask. And so I don't have to keep changing gear around when I'm doing this. Taking my time. This is also not a heavy hand. Cutting a lot of air. Cutting more air than I am timber, actually. And I want to stay out of the way. Let's go with the green. See what we got happening here. I don't think I'm going to capture any bug trails or anything on this particular piece. But we'll see when we start opening up the wings for the bowl. Actually, I probably could do a hollow form in this. It'd be a short, stout one, but it would work. Okay, that looks good. Let's see. I'm going to switch to 220. Okay, when I started trying to use this Grex sander without air and found out that it makes a nice friction sander. It kind of changed things up for me. Yeah, that's elm. Alright, unfortunately, it looks like I'm going to have to run the compressor for a couple of minutes, so here we go. I think you can tell it's warmed up some. The compressor kicked on immediately. Not any trouble. That's groove. Just got a little spot here, and I probably got one on this side too. Cutting that air, the sander wants to bounce a little bit, but sometimes you get these little streaks. Yeah, a little bit right there. Where it's a, sanding mark, a tool mark. We'll just clean that area up, and since we're doing that, we might as well just take the sander across the whole surface. That's pick up this more sand. Plus, we can make sure we get everything blended in. A little bit of a problem area right here, and it's gone. Alright, cool. Or is it, he says? It's really bounced off that. There we go. On mute. Oh, okay, gotcha. You're on mute. Thank you. I thought you were trying to tell me that I was on mute. Thank you very much, by the way. And welcome. Alright, I can shut the compressor off now. I'm looking forward to, the daylight hours are getting longer up here, so I had the door open earlier, but it still gets dark before this broadcast ends. And let's see, we're going to use a chuck on the rest of that. And it's supposed to get about, 30, 38 tonight? Something like that. I'm looking forward to Friday and Saturday when the nighttime temps are closer to 50 so that I can work with the beehives. I've got to do some splits, and I want the temps to be fairly well above freezing because I'm going to be splitting up the colonies, which means less bees per hive. And I don't want to chill the brood by starting nukes and stuff like that too early. That would be a bad thing. The donor hives should be okay, even though I'm taking some of their bees away, but they have an already active queen. And I'm not moving the queen to a different hive. So I'm just waiting for the temps to come up a little bit. Gots to do right by the bees. There we go. All right, so I can move that out of the way. Do I need this longer tool rest? I do not. So I'm going to go with my Steve Center tool rest. I like this thing, man. Ooh, yeah, that'll still be long enough. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but I think, of course, I got this curved edge here, but I think maybe I might be able to get a bowl out of that and then have wings on it. Maybe. Actually, I can do, well, let's think about this a little more. I can do a couple things with this. I could flip it back around and take these wings down. I don't think I want to do that. I think I want to work with it this way. At the right spot. Yep. And my pole gouge decided to take a dive. Fortunately, I could reach it. Let's see. I think I probably need to make it a little bit. Trying to figure out if I'm actually going to make this whole thing a bowl or wings in a small shallow bowl in the bottom. Or maybe make this an interesting lidded box. So I want to work the outsides of the wings first. As the mass gets moved away, then this gets thinner. It's going to want to start to flop. And that is not a happy thing when you're trying to keep an even wall thickness. So I want to straighten that up. So I don't get to say may the fourth be with you, I guess, on time, I suppose. I got to spend mine at the service center turning, doing demonstration turning for empty bowls fundraiser with a couple of guys from the turning club. It was a pretty good time. Okay, I think that's a nice thickness for the wing there. Well, we're getting down there. So since I'm cutting a lot of air, I can see where my tool is cutting. And gauge my wall thickness by watching the ghosting of the timber. I need to take a little bit more off in there, but just to show you, I want to work my way down. This is not really flopping yet, but it's got a little bit of give to it. Once I start taking this mass off, that's all going to change. Let's see, how's my bowl gouge doing? Not bad. Actually, I think I will speed my lathe up a little bit. There we go. So I have just a little bit right up there. So that's all clean. Let's see what I want to do with this guy. I mean, it's nice that it's got a natural edge to it. Maybe I will turn this into a, maybe, I don't know, maybe a hollow form, maybe a box. Let's see. And this goes. Yeah. Okay. Decisions. I'll have to make a lid for it if I turn this into a box, which is not that big of a deal. I'm getting some flopping, so I take a really light cut there to get rid of that tool mark. There's a tool mark on one of the wings, and now it's mostly gone. I'll have to do a little bit of sanding there, but that's a very nice wing shape. Well, let's see what I can, how far I can get my tool in there. Let's get this over here. Get into a nice shape. Alright, I got a little bit to clean up right there. Yeah, just a bit. Alright, so originally this was just going to be a wide bowl, but it's gone further now. So, what the heck, man? Let's turn it into a hollow form. Well, we still make it a bowl. Nah, it doesn't have the right shape. Let's make it a hollow form. That's a nice shape. Let's clean that up a little bit. I'm liking that. A little high for my spindle gouge here. Although, I'm not going to use this spindle gouge to hollow it. Well, Dave, you forgot to tighten down your tool rest. Yeah, so got to do a little bit of work right there. There we go. I'm going to grab a smaller spindle gouge. That is not it. Eeny, meeny, miny, moe, where the heck did you go? There you are. I think I can use that. Oh, I do have my ½ inch, but let's go with this guy. Although, to be fair, that's not the ½ inch. All right, I'm going to grab ½ inch spindle gouge. Actually, I think that'll be a better choice. So let's set up the tool rest. Not quite there. That might be it right there. All that's going to clear so I can actually come right up on it. Oop, that one. What's catching? Nothing. Okay, groovy. So let's get this guy set up. And I guess I can take the ½ inch spindle gouge out of the other side. But that's also not totally necessary. Whoopsie daisy. A little too high. Hey, now. think that's deep enough. Yeah, I'm gonna take that bowl gouge out, or this other spindle gouge out. It's getting in the way. And I'm going to start off with this 1/2 inch spindle gauge, but I do think I'm actually going to finish off with the 3/8 because I can get further in that way. Check my depth here. That's as deep as I want to go. Well, I can go a little bit deeper, but I'm not going to yet. All right, time to break out. Well, no, not yet. Oh, actually, I might be able to do all this with the 1/2 inch. That's a nice wall thickness. Definitely heating up. Just going to keep gauging the wall thickness as I go so I don't go through the side. Well, I think that is just about right.
Visit Dave Life's Co-Fi page at
All right, there we go.
https://co-fi.com/HIIM.
Finish off the bottom on the inside here shortly. Just about there. I think I'll make a cap for this thing. So that could go, yeah. All right. And I think if I can get it. Oh, yeah. So that means I'll have to move that out a little bit. I can raise this up a little bit so that my scraper is not below center. It's actually above center. And my handle is tilted up, so I can take advantage of that burr. It's on the negative rake. There we go. If I had a bottom feeder, I'd probably use that. There we go. That's done. Elm is kind of soft. Nope, I need to take that just a little bit more out. I don't know if I'm trying to get it out with my finger. I don't know why. Oh, how much lag is there? Did that move at all? Yes. Okay. And then I'm going to go with this gouge. That's actually about right. Be closer though. Doesn't look like it's rubbing. Just a little bit thinner wall. There we go. That's what I was after. Let's get that a bit closer. Come on. Getting that little corner right there. And that took care of that. Now I just need to straighten up this hole and I can fashion a little lid for it, finial. I could probably put a collar in it too if I want to. Take a look at that. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Cool. All right. So we'll grab the sander really quick. Throw on the mask. And away we go. Hey, boo-boo! Okay. Now I just need to flip this dude around. Let's see, I wonder if actually I want to get not that guy. It's trash sandpaper. There we go. Yeah, you won't go in there. Just staying aware of where the wings are. I don't want to get my knuckles in the way. It's never a happy time. I guess unless you're into that kind of thing, but I'm not. So I can fashion a nice finial for that. Is that a tool mark? Or is that? Yes, it is. Couldn't tell if it was a tool mark or something in the timber. Okay. Groovy. Let's get this thing flipped around. We're doing time. 1 hour for that guy. Not bad. So I think if I get the light in the right spot, you can see the inside and how smooth that is. You can do a lot of really cool things with back hollowing, man. All right, for this guy, what am I gonna do here? Oh, I should have left that in, huh? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Oh, yeah, got this. Will that do? I don't know. I don't think so. So I'll have to use something else. It's not how I want to grab it. So I'm going to use a friction drive on this, but I need to fashion. Oh, perfect. Fashion a jam chuck here. I'm pretty sure this will fit in here. Yes, indeed. All right, let's get rid of this guy. These go into the bin. It's actually a good size right there. So let's see, I think I'll go to this guy. It might be a little bit. Might be just a tad bit too tall. I want to try to closely match the inside bottom. I think that will do it. Not quite deep enough yet. Getting there. That might be all right, actually. I'm going to take it down a little bit more and give it a square shoulder. Soften that corner up just a bit. Yeah, that'll work just fine. So we'll use that. Let's move these tools out of the way. Come on now. Move. Oh, hey, I don't have to wear this mask. Well, isn't that nice? Okay. So I need to bring up the tailstock, turn off that portion of the foot, and this piece will be done. I really should have it touching the bottom in there. Yeah, I should. It's not quite touching. But it was almost touching. Okay. I don't want this to slide by, especially because this is elm. It's a softer wood, so if anything like that happens on the inside, it's going to scorch it. And I definitely don't want that. It's running through, all right. Round that off a bit. How's that look? Not bad. All right, I'll take it. Now let's clean this up. Just do a little bit scrape in there. I'll take this guy down just a bit. And then round over that corner like that. Make it look a little neater. could probably, just use the saw. Where you are, there you are. Now, I definitely don't want to twist this off or anything like that because I'm right at the bottom thickness. I don't want to go too much. I don't want to tear the fibers out and then poke a hole through the bottom. Bottom's not super thin. It's just, you pull, twist and pull. Sometimes the fibers can come right out. This is not necessary. This isn't in spindle orientation, but that can still happen. So I want to be careful with that. I'd rather have a little bit I can sand away, or if I can cut it all the way off with the saw, I'll do it that way like I did here. I still have a little bit to sand away, but that won't take long. Thought I could do it all with the. Yep, I'll have to start up the compressor. It's just about done sanding, but that particular tool needs more air than the Grex sander. The Grex sander is a little bit too big to, at least with the pad that I've got on it, to get into this foot area. Just need to lift and fill. I'll turn that a little bit later. I want to get on to the next bowl. Because I have a nice piece. I'm pretty sure it is honey locust, but take another look at the bark. Kind of tells me it's honey locust too, but I really want to turn it because it's a beautiful color. So I'm pretty sure this is honey. Yeah, this is honey locust for sure. So I've got a little bit of a split happening there, but that doesn't matter. Or it shouldn't. We'll either have to cut down to it or hopefully I'll be able to turn most of it away. Let's change that out. Let's see, that guy goes over there. Boom, boom, boom. And once again, we're going to start on the balance point. Put this sander away first. Okay. Yeah, I'd say that's a little heavier in the bottom. Went just a wee bit too far. Whoops, came out of it. No! Is that it? Nope.
Repentant man said, "Why aren't you trimming wood with a knife?"
Why aren't I trimming wood with a knife? I'm sorry, I guess I don't understand. What you mean? I'm turning wood. I'm not carving anything today. I'm sorry. I guess I don't understand the question. I do use my knife a lot. It is my favorite woodworking tool ever since I was a kid. Back when you were allowed to carry knives on your person, because nobody considered, I mean, as a kid, you weren't going to threaten anybody with it, but we were also taught knife safety and all that stuff. I came out of that spot, man. Where is it? But thanks for joining the channel. Welcome to the channel. If you could clarify the question a little bit, I am turning wood, and technically these are specialty knives. They're sharp edges. So I guess you could look at it that way. All right, so that is the balance point. We are in a spot where we can dampen vibration at the beginning. What's the deal here? Oh yeah, this is honey locust. This is hard stuff. So what I'm gonna do, that's really hard. I'll take this guy out, and I'll drive it in with a mallet first. So, repentant man, I haven't seen you. You're a first-time chatter. Where are you at in the world? I am in Traverse City, Michigan, enjoying the fact that there is no snow. I don't know that helped me, but we are giving it the wackaroony. I want this, yeah, that's just not biting down. What's something moving here? Maybe that's it. Maybe my tailstock is backing off a little bit. This is a hard piece of wood. Yeah, not helpful. Well, let me spin it around and see what I can do from this side. I know that's the balance point, so I can use that. Let's get that guy up in there first. That might give me a better bite. Not the direction I wanted to start it with, but I'll clean off this surface and I might get wood I can bite into with my drive center. That's nice and secure. I don't like using, let's see, which tool rest will I use? I don't really care to use spur drives myself, although in this case it might actually come in a little bit handy, but I don't like the possibility of splitting the wood. There it is. Or drilling into the wood. I guess it wouldn't really matter on this face too much, but I just don't typically use spur drives. What in the world? Oh, duh. I forgot. This tool rest is just a little too long for this banjo. I'll have to cut some of it off so it will fit properly. There we go. That all gets by. Let's grab the bull gouge.
Coffee Stream 5 said, visit the Let's Go FI page on
I'm just gonna chew this surface up. It'll stay on this side of the tool rest in case that split decides to come off. And then maybe I can bite into that a little bit better. We'll see what this split will do. Might be yeah, something like that. Something like that. We don't want that to happen. All right, so let's see. Let me cut that off. And I'll spin this guy around again and see if I get a better bite, because I really want to start working on the outside shape from the tailstock side. I can get two more of it. Oh, I do have an announcement, by the way. I guess I should mention. I will be at the Crooked Tree Art Fair in Traverse City, July 26th, and then the Suttons Bay Art Show, August 2nd and 3rd, I think it is. So if you're in town, stop by, say hi. If you're looking for some nice artwork, come on, say hi. All right. So now I need to work on my balance point again. Hit it. I hit it like right away. Cool. That was lucky. Now let's see if it bites in better. Yes. So maybe there was some dirt or something on the outside that was just not letting it bite into the wood. There we go. Let's move that guy out of the way because he's too long. And all that will clear, right? Okay. So I'm going to play around with the orientation of this one, but I'm pretty much, I think, just going to blow through. None of the things that I'm doing are any different from the last one, other than I won't be hollowing this. I do have it on a slower speed, so I'll speed it up a little bit. Taking pretty aggressive cuts with this guy. First time chatter, Instant Miller 4B92X cheap viewers. Spam bot. I was wondering when one of those would show up tonight. I'm gonna have to take that down. Let's see. Off by that much. So I'm going to throw this guy out of balance. What I want is to get rid of the pith here. So I'm marking it and putting it off balance. Yeah, that's too far. Putting it off balance so I can line the piths up. A little bit more this way. Well, that isn't it, though. Close. This guy's got to go in a little bit. That way. And since I'm between centers, it's really fairly easy to do. Alright, let's bring this way just a touch. I don't think that's it either. I think that's too far. What's stopping me here? I think I just put it back and it's... Oh no, I'm really close. Okay, so I got that guy. And then this guy is just a shade low. So I need to come this way a little bit. And that might do it right there. Yep, cool. So as I've mentioned before, I don't necessarily want to go after... No, I want to have it this way. The biggest piece I can get out of a piece of timber. I just want to get the best piece that I can out of it. So let's true this up again. Let's make sure this is secure. Yeah, that's secure. So I got a little bit of vibration, but I knew that was going to happen. That's why I'm staying out of the line of fire. See how close again. You know what? I'll mark that line so I can actually see it. So it's going to be a slightly smaller bowl than I was hoping, but that's okay. The change steel here. That's definitely getting dull. How about that fella? Like these quick change handles, I can't wait to get my hands on the Jimmy Clues version that I ordered. If it beats this out, then I can really have just a single handle for my tools. Now let's see what my issue is there. I'm too tall. On the tool rest. There we go. Oh, very nice shape already. I like it. I think I will make this. I don't know, I might make it a flat bottom bowl. Well, not flat, but round bottom, but not a shallow, steep curve. Nice. I'm going to put a bead in the rim of this one. This is going to be a pretty bowl. Let's see. I'm playing around with the curve of this guy. I really want. I'm always working on an aesthetically pleasing shape. And while I sometimes use the golden mean, I also use the 2/3 rule or the 3/5 rule, whichever one you prescribe to, when putting on detail or even making and designing a shape. We get all that lovely information from our wonderful friends and ancestors, the Romans and the Greeks, most of the Greeks. Come on. There we go. So yeah, this is going to be a round bottom bowl. I like the, ooh, got some spalting captured in there too. And there's some beetle holes. That's cool. So I got rid of the pith. We're good to go there. I'll have to turn all of that away, so we'll wind up with a bowl like this. But like I said, we want the best bowl we can get. Best piece we can get out of it. Make sure that is not tool mark. Okay, it's not. Sometimes it's hard to tell on timber whether you're seeing a tool mark go around on the surface or it's just the rotation of the piece that seems to blend things together, making something look like a straight line when it's really not. That's pretty good. I can sand that now. I really like that shape. Just a little bit of work right here. A little bit of shear scraping. Just modify the curve just a little bit. Now I want to take my straight edge. I want to ride on that curve and see what I see. On any flat spots. Not bad. Okay. Time to mask up again. And grab some fresh abrasive. And the outside is just about done. It's pretty yellow. I really like that. And it looks like I got really close. Not quite. I could still move this though. I could actually get it centered, but it's close. Do I want to go over this again? Nah. Nah. You know what? Let's take it off and take a look. So if I shifted up this way just a bit, I'll have to redo the outside, but then I'll have all of this centered. So I want to go I mean, that's really close though. But yeah, I want to go on this side. Time to bring out my favorite woodworking tool. Maybe that will satisfy repentant man's question. I don't know. Okay, if I bring this up this way here and then shift it just about like right there, I think that will probably be perfect. So I'm going to help myself out by using my center punch. Now let's take a look at that. This was the center. This will be the new center, and I'm not quite where I want to be. Come on, get up there. There you go. So this was my center. If I go up this way a little bit, that means, it's not quite centered on this guy, so I'd really have to be on this line here, which means I'd have to be all the way out here. But for a round bottom bowl, it's not a bad thing. And then somewhere in that neighborhood right there. And that will get me, maybe, the X in the bottom. I mean, that's going to be really, really close. You know what? I'm not going to mess with it. I could take the extra time, but I'm just not going to mess with it. We are now not running true for some reason. And I suspect it's because I got the wrong hole on the other side. There we go. Ooh, I'm glad I'm wearing a mask. That's a lot of dust. And I really don't want to breathe any honey locusts in. Let's give it one more go. I'm trying to move smoothly across the surface. With my sand, that'll work. With my sander here, I'm going to give it a couple of seconds before. Oh yes, we. Yeah. How you gonna hold this, Dave? That's silliness. Yep, I'm gonna have to rework it anyway. So hey, what the heck? Let's move it around, shall we? Let's try that. Since I do have to leave a little bit. I was so close to being done with it. I do have to move it a little bit. Anyhow. Make sure that's nice and tight. We don't want that going anywhere. So if I look at that, that'll be, that's not going to be centered on this side. We want it centered this way. And then this, come on. Nope. Come on. There we go. So I'm centered here, just about. Now, here, that looks about right. I need to cut a little bit of a foot here so I can hold it by the chuck. What in the world? Now it's starting to bite in. There. So, let's do a little bit more work on this dude. Cut in a little bit. Just a really small foot. I'll be able to hold on to it with. I don't need much. Pretty square. Let's go a little bit more than that. Say about 1/8 of an inch is well I'll need. And when I have the bowl in reverse, I have reversed the bowl, I can turn most of that away. Let's see, I think I need to take this up a little bit more. And that up a little bit more. Yep. Do a little bit of shear straight down. It's really light touch. These shavings almost look like sawdust, but those are shavings. Very, very fine. Just a light touch is all I need. Just knocking off all the high points. Making the pieces, smoothing the surface out. And that'll make the sanding process faster. That'll work. Now, having said that, I need to cut this stuff away again. Yeah, of course. And then I need to move this over just a skosh. Hopefully that is the right amount of skosh. That's probably too much skosh, because I want to line up these, to line up the pith here on both sides. And then let's get rid of this mass so I don't have to try to sand over that bump. And hey, why not? I've got it between centers. Let's get rid of all this too. Yep, that split still goes through that part, so it definitely has to come out. Oh, you know what? I never sanded that. Let's do that. One of these things is not like the other.
Coffee Stream Bot said, visit Dave Life's co-fi page at https://co-fi.com/HIIMDAVE question graph equals Twitch.
Might have to do some maintenance on my lathe tomorrow. Closing up the sand. Hey, I've been wearing the mask the whole time. I might as well go for it. Yeah, she's just not lined up right. Get this centered bitter. Centered bitter. I don't want to try to use a sandpaper to shape the piece. That's not why we are using it. Come on. Alright, so it's got to go this way. Well, bear with me while I monkey with this. So that comes out. So this should probably, let's see if I can bring this side over. Nope. Right there. That is closer, so let's move it that way. There we go. That's more better. There we go. Oh, almost got it. Well, let's do it this way then. I'm going to go turn on the compressor again. I'm glad this microphone drowns out most of that sound because I really don't like listening to it. But I don't have much choice. I don't want y'all to have to listen to it either. Not cool. I see a tool mark where there shouldn't be one. And I'm going to wait for this dust to die down a bit before I take the mask off. Make sure I get the dust off the computer here. Come on. Good, now it's done. Now when I cut that away, I'll just have to sand that a little bit. That'll be good. Yeah, I like that shape. Nice curve. So it's a continuous curve, and I don't think you can see it very well if you look at the edge there. Let's see if I can get this in the right. Let me change my camera view. There we go. I'll turn that dude off, or maybe it's this one.
Tree Ray Ray said, "Yo,
Hey, how you doing, man? So if I get this in the right, he gets the right angle. There we go.
Richard in Las Vegas said,
And
hey,
following this curve,
Bill Day
I don't
Builder
have any
said,
flat spots. I could feel it if it was there, and if I look through it this way, because I'm riding just
Bill
on
Day
this
Builder
corner,
said, have a good stream though.
and I can see that's a nice, good, smooth, continuous curve just using a flat, straight edge. And it looks like I've got a few. Builder says, howdy, got a raid and run. Have a good stream, though. Thank you. Thanks for coming out. Richard in Las Vegas. Hey, Richard. Good to see you again, Troy Ray. Thanks for coming out, man. Okay, let me clean off. Looks like my camera's getting a little dusty. And now I can take off. Whew, that mask.
Reverb Text said, Ray looks good. Balance compared to what I did the last time I used one LUL.
Thank you. Yeah, I always try to start off on the balance point if I'm, well, pretty much any piece I can. It's not always possible, but most of the time it is. And vibration is not our friend. So, well, unless it's part of the design, part of the embellishment. But on regular turning, vibration is not our friend. All right. So now if we look at the bottom of this, that's actually a little more centered. I could have gone this way just a little bit, but here from this line to this line, that's more centered. Could have gone a little bit more. So I'm getting really close to getting that X in the center, but I'm just going to go with what we've got. Again, that's why I like using or going between centers to start, between points, because I can move the piece around, change its orientation to whatever I want so I can get the best piece I can. All right, we set that down here, so let's bring that guy back. And I think I'm going to get rid of the elbow poker guy. That would be good, although that might be easier said than done. With as much pressure as I had to put on this thing, I might need a mallet. And there we go. And I'll have to look at my tailstock tomorrow before the stream. I think I might need to lube up the threads there. How is my edge? Still not bad. Started taking a little bit too big of a cut and didn't like that. A strobing LED light, just what I wanted. Okay, so all that split is almost completely gone now. There's just a little bit right there. So it looks like there was a bar conclusion down this way. There definitely, oh, that was the pith, my bad. So that's where that split happened. All right, I had just a little bit of the pith right here to get rid of. You can just barely see it right there. You don't want the pith in the piece. Later on down the road, if it's in a place that's more humid than where I'm at, you know, the bowl's going to shift and change based on the environment it's in because it's wood. And if that pith was left in it, if it wound up in its forever home in a place that was more humid, it might split. Okay. I'm starting to establish a wall thickness. And I think I want my rim to kind of angle down into the bowl. Let's get rid of this material. That's actually a decent thickness. I think, well, let's see, I might keep that. There's no, I'm doing all right. So it's nice and even right to about that point right there. So I got just a little bit more to take out in the bottom, but I think I like that thickness. Let's see, let me put that edge a little bit. Oh no, please feel free to ask questions. That's why this is live and in your face, so to speak. I've got also what is it, text to speech, so I get to it gets read to me by a computerized voice. This is honey locust. It's a very, very, very hard wood, especially when it's dry, as it is right now. Turning it green is really, well, I like turning it anyway, but turning it green is a little bit nicer. It's nothing like oak that gets all splintery and stuff. This is a really dense wood, and let's see, you can see the ring structure. It's very well defined, and it does have some nice, they're not super big pores, but you can kind of see that there is a pore structure. But it's a lovely yellow wood. I like oranges and yellows in my timber. So I really like playing with honey locust. And actually, I might grab my UV light. This might be I think honey locust does fluoresce. I can't remember. I know black locust. Honey locust does, but not always. Black locust fluoresces every time. Okay, so I need to go right there. Let's clean this up. Just letting the tool go as fast as it can cut. Don't need to go any faster than that. Now it's even. Groovy. Alright, so I'm going to take my first little bug I've seen of the season, that little gnat guy. I have not seen any bugs. Well, that's not entirely true. See a lot of stink bugs. I think that'll be alright. No mosquitoes. I understand we do have ticks in there, but I haven't seen any ticks. And the lack of insects really worries me. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not a huge fan of the mosquito. I'm not a huge fan of the tick. If they're part of the food chain, not mine, but they're part of somebody's food chain, and most of those somebodies, at least a couple of those somebodies are on my side of the food chain, so if there's no insects and those critters aren't getting fed, that means that potentially we also might not get fed. And that's a bad thing. Say that as a beekeeper, it's been tremendous losses this year all across the country. Commercial beekeepers, as of last week, the tally was 72% losses. Sideliners like myself, who not hobbyists, reported about 60%, and that's what I lost, was about 60% of my hives. And hobbyist beekeepers, those that keep one or maybe two hives, lost half their hives. So there's a big problem there. Some of it I'm blaming on, well, a lot of it I'm blaming on geoengineering. Also, the big ag, I guess you could say, with all their lovely pesticides poisoning the soil. Ah, lovely. That's lovely. All right, so I'm going to flip it around, cut off the bottom. Oh, I need to. It's a little bit of a sharp edge. It's not terrible, but let's just chamfer that dude.
Tech said, "That's neat sanding."
I didn't understand what the chat box said. I'll look at your chat here in a minute. That's neat sanding while spinning. Oh, wait, let's go back. Richard in Las Vegas says, I've never got the size of shavings you're getting. Beautiful. Thank you. You can vary the depth of your cut with any tool. The biggest deal is sharp tools with a proper bevel, or good bevel anyway, on it. I like using a 60-degree bevel on my bowl gouges. But sharp tools are a must. Absolutely a must. And some woods, like, let me think. Let's see. How about, let me think about that. Because there are some woods that I really don't get big shavings out of, because the wood is so hard. Some of it depends on the wood too. This is honey locust, and it's hard, but I also have very sharp tools. It's running through. I want to take my negative rake scraper, put a good bevel on it, and I'm going to turn it on its edge. It's still got one. And get a really, really clean scrape out of this. I'm angling the tool so that more of the edge itself, more of the burr, is making contact with the timber, completely avoiding. I didn't have this centered properly clearly. Took it out of the chuck and didn't put it back in the same spot. So I got to adjust for that, because I'm turning something that's now not round and not through. Well, it's true, I shouldn't have too many tweaks out of it. It is a thin wall. I'm going to get some noise. How does that look? Yeah, that's a bummer. But that's all right, we got it worked out. It was a fairly thin wall already. Now it's just a little bit thinner. There, that looks much better. And I'm not even going to worry about sanding that, pretty much. Not going to. I don't know, think about it. Put a fresh burr on this and do one or two more passes and call that good. Want as clean a surface as I can get. So I guess Richard in Las Vegas. How much wood turning have you done?
So your show fire.
All right, there we go. Reboot tech. Reboot tech. Not sure what it's a.
Reboot Tech said, thinned.
Oh,
Not good. Richard in Las Vegas said, not a ton. I'm still a beginner at turning.
gotcha. Well, if nobody's told you, I'll tell you the secret sauce, because there is secret sauce, and that's practice. The more you practice, the better you'll get at it. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna run. I think if I can get it in there. Let's see. I can, but if I, yeah. So I'm gonna swap out. I think I have to find it first. There it is. Nope. Yep, that's it right there. Oh yeah, I don't have to swap out anything. I just got to put the pad on. I'm gonna sand the inside of that bowl with 220. I guess it is a little bit smaller, but it's pretty centered.
Richard in Las Vegas said, that much I've learned. I can watch 1,000 people turning, but I can't see what you feel. So, practice is where it's at.
Yep, absolutely. And I enjoy watching other people turn. I want to know, like, I want to talk to them about what their process is and how they get to do what they do, and then seeing how I can incorporate that into my own skill set. I like watching people turn, but I also like to turn, and I love to teach it. For me, it is a blast. Slow that down. I tell people try not to get discouraged if you jump on a lathe and maybe things aren't going the way you were planning the first time out. It takes practice. Yeah, that worked out nicely. Very cool. All right, I'll take it. So I'm going to reverse this guy, cut off that foot. I'll have my round bottom bowl. That's a nice size too. Was that about 6? Yeah, 6 inches. So let's spin this guy around. I'm going to use one of my glue blocks in my... Oh, excuse me. Ooh. Knees are popping and cracking. Use a glue block in my chuck here instead of attaching it to a faceplate, because I just need to hold that in place, and then I'll bring up some of this stuff. So it's just a piece of leather and then a piece of shelf liner. Just using it as a friction chuck. Now I gotta move everything out of the way that I should have moved first. All one-handed. Isn't this lovely? There we go. Grab my live center here. So Richard, what kind of lathe you got, man? Those are always interesting questions. Are we running true? We are not. So we need to move that way. Then I need to move that way. I must have got something bunched up in here. You know what I'm going to do without the shelf liner? Make sure everything's flat. Okay, so that's not my center. My center's over here. Very close anyway. Let's move it down just a little bit more. I want to run it as true as I can get it so I can finish cutting off this. Yeah. I can do better than that. At least I hope I can. Not bad. Let's see if I can get that any better. Where's the center of that dude? Well, actually, let's just look at that. So right in there. Why? Okay, tight enough. I think that'll do. The tool rest is too high. There we go. So cut it off right there. Well, actually, I'll make it a little bit thinner than that. Cut it off right there, and it won't have much to sand on the bottom. Just enough of a there we go. It's just a little bit of a wobble, but it's not bad. And hey, I'm that far. So, what happened to it? What, did it fall off the lid? No, I set it down below. Okay. So I'll get rid of the backup pad here. Since I'm not inside the bowl anymore. Cool. And I'm going to shut that little bit there to sand. So let's cut this off with a saw. I like using these flush cut saws because I can bend the saw blade and avoid the bottom or scoring up the bottom. I don't like parting off my tenons because the fibers can get pulled out. Alright, so no real marks in there, so that's good. Didn't have too much pressure on it. Take that off. I can leave this. And then start up. No, maybe I don't. Maybe I don't need to start up the compressor again. Yes, I do. There we go. Get back here, get back here. So there we have round bottom bowl and even wall thickness all the way through, which we can show with calipers once I find the right ones. And I probably won't find them right there because they've been put away. Yep. So with practice, you'll also be able to do this. I eyeballed this. So if you look at that, let's go on this camera here. Look at that. Put it in the right angle so you can see that gap. And that gap is even all the way through. It's taken a lot of practice to be able to do that by eye and by feel and by hand, but it's doable. You can do it too. I encourage you to practice, 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 because it's only going to improve your tool skills. Take some classes with a competent wood turner. If you're in the Traverse City area and you'd like to take classes with me, let me know. I also teach classes one-on-one. I can actually teach 2 students at a time because I have 2 lathes. Building up my lathe collection over the years. Right now I've got 2. I've got 3, but one of them needs a motor, so I don't know if I'm going to replace the motor on it or use it for parts and whatnot to extend the bed of this particular lathe, because they are both jet lathes. And so the ways are the same on both units. So I'm thinking about maybe adding it to the end of this one so that I have a almost 10-foot bed. All right, so there we have. Let's get up close and personal here. If I can get it into the camera frame. Come on, Dave. It's nice curve, smooth flowing curve, inside and out. No tool marks. Tool marks are I don't like leaving tool marks behind, man. Tool marks are bad. All right, so that's that guy. We've got a little bit more time. So instead of starting the hollow form let's do the lid and finial for this guy. It has a gnat on it. So let's do that. Let's see, let's pick a nice contrasting color. Wow, that piece of beech might look really fabulous. Get the dust off that. You can see the grain on this. It's really, really tight grain. This piece of elm, for much of its life, grew really, really slowly. Once it got out to, I don't know, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll call that 10. We'll call that 20, 30, 40. So around year 35 or so, it started growing slower or quicker. You can tell by the gaps in the rings here, it's starting to widen out as it gets more towards the outside of the tree. This is where the pith would be, and this would be the outside of the tree. So it grew a lot more quickly in the last few years of its life. No idea why, something to do with the environment or whatever, but it got more of what it needed to grow faster. So that's really, really cool. I like seeing tight-grained pieces of elm like this. It's just, I don't know, it's just a favorite of mine. If I'm working with elm, I like really tight-grained elm. Still a softer wood, but it is really nice to turn. Let's see, that would probably, no, that would be too much. All right, how about that piece of cherry? Will that work? That might work. How much would that offset? Ooh, quite a bit. I like it. We're going with it. So we'll turn that finial and lid to end the broadcast. Well, we got about half an hour-ish. So instead of starting that other hollow form, we'll just go with this guy and finish him off completely. In the side. And this would be kind of cool too, because this right here is the head of a bedpost. It came out of an old farmhouse, and it's a really old piece of cherry, very, very dark red. I got lucky and collected a few of these from a guy I know at the tech center that I was um, mentoring at, which I still do occasionally, but um, it was a nice find. It was, I think he said it was his great grandparents' bed, and it was his mother was getting rid of it, and part of the reason was because it had sustained carpenter ant damage, which is some of what you see in here. They didn't get very far up this way, but what was below this was just a lot of ant galleries. They had chewed the inside of this piece out, but this is a good solid piece, minus the cracks here. I probably will never use this piece for anything, but this right here is still fairly solid, I think, although I see a piece crack right there. I don't know, man. This piece may not survive. We'll find out. I think that will be just about... Oh, well, maybe we'll be fine, because this diameter is a little bit bigger than the top of the box there. Oh, I don't... Gotta set my tailstock before I do anything. So I don't have to get this perfectly centered or whatever, and it's not clearly. But I'll do a little bit better job than that. Yeah, that's better. I probably should turn this dude around. Oh, no. Good, it's biting in. I want to make sure this is nice and secure on the lathe. Okay, that'll work. All right, so what I'm going to do here, let's see. If that's a little bit bigger than this hole, that means I should be able to hold that in the chuck. Let's take a gander at that, because if I can hold that in the chuck, then I can just cut this ball off, put this in the chuck, and then turn the lid and finial. So I got that. And oh, it's just a little bit smaller. So I'll have to make the hold right up in here. So I'm not losing that much timber. Yep, that'll work. So I'm not losing that much timber. Okay, where'd you put your glasses, Dave? Right there. So this is not running true, but it will be shortly. Really close though. And that should be a really good hold for the chuck right there. Since I'm here, I might as well chew this stuff up. And then I'll part this off. You see that beautiful, just dark red, dark cherry red. This is a really nice piece of old cherry. I can definitely tell the ants didn't get up that far because it's not trying to break itself off. There's no ant track or what is the term for that? Ant caverns. Ant trails. Maybe it's not trails because it's digging it through the wood. All right, so I'll save that for something later. We'll see. I don't know if I'll even be able to use that, but because it's so split. But it is seasoned, so maybe. And another fine thank you to Dave Delby for putting that little tip on Instagram. I used to use my knockout bar to knock the drive center out. But you know, it's just so damn loud. And just using a wrench because it's a Morse 2 taper, I was like, why didn't I think of that? I don't know. But he did, and he shared it. So now I'm not beating my lathe to death. Okay, I need to cut that off. When I need to get the drive center out. Okay. Now we're not bottoming out in the chuck. You know, I forgot to check if I could actually hold it on this end. Maybe if I flatten that. Oh, I can if I flatten it out. All right, so I'm going to true this face up really quick. And then I'll be able to flip it around and turn. Because I want this part here to be the lid. It's not going to be all of that, but I want this bigger part to be the lid that fits down and this to be the handle. Now let's compare sizes here. So it needs to be a little bit smaller. Do I want to use that? That's the first question. Let's clean that part up. Yeah, I can haul that. Well, I don't know. I may need to. I think I'll cut all that off. That's a bummer, but oh well. You know what? Let's do this. How'd you get? I want to speed you up a little bit. And while I'm doing that, I also want to bring up my tailstock. I'm gonna give myself a little centering hole there for my point. Put that right in there. Right. So that is going to be too big, but I wanted to see what. It's just a really gorgeous color. And even with all these splits in it, it should be okay. So a tad bit smaller. Yeah, I'm going to cut all that off. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to cut this whole thing off. After I get... Well, let's see. It's just going to sit in there. No, I'm not. I'm not going to cut it all off. Just going to size it. So we'll sneak up on the proper fit. I don't want a friction fit on this. I want it to pretty much just sit in the top of the piece. Very close. Chamfer that edge. It's just a little too tight. Oh man, maybe just a skosh. Should I leave that alone? Actually, I think I will leave it alone. Right after, I'm just going to take off just a little bit. Because I like the fit that I like the fit that it's giving me. It's not really, all right, just a little bit more off right up at that corner there. Beautiful. That's what I want right there. Okay, and that sits really nicely right on that. Okay. Now we can turn the rest of it.
Kofi Stream Bot said, visit Dave Life's Ko-Fi page at https://ko-fi.com/HIIMDAVE #ref = Twitch.
see. I think I will leave. Actually, I may even leave that. No, let's trim that. Let's get rid of that old finish that was on there. Let's see how that looks when we're right up again it. Okay. I think I see that I would like to change that shape a little bit. That's looking better. Okay. So I think then what I want is a little bit around it right there. And I want to match the curve on the top. I'm going to hollow this out a little bit. So we got some ant damage in there, but it's not terrible, and it's not enough for the piece to come apart or try to break apart. So we're going to leave it the way it is. Add some nice detail. Alright, let's double check this curve on the top. That's looking pretty good, this curve right here, so I'm going to stick with that. Let's see, I think I need to get in a little tighter like that. Codido, I don't know. Oh yeah, I do. Need to bring this down to size. Life in Pain. Hello. Thanks for showing up and joining the broadcast. I appreciate it. How's your day going so far? Yeah, I got some ant damage there, but I'm leaving that. That'll add character. It looks like it's broken out, but it's ant damage. Get a nice burnish off the tool. How long have I been streaming? A little bit over for tonight. It's 8 to 11 is my schedule on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. But I've been streaming this channel for since January of 2024. January or February. Where are you from? I am north of most people in Traverse City, Oklahoma, Michigan. I'm going to say Oklahoma for. Currently in Dallas. Wow, you're all the way down there. All right. Nice. I don't know what the weather's like down there today, but I'm sure it's hotter than it is here. Oh, no kidding. All right. I got two of my kids live in near Oklahoma City, so I'm always trying to pay attention to the weather out that direction, tornadoes and whatnot. Dallas gets those too. I don't know how much flooding you guys get. Okay, I need my detail gauge. Finish that off. If any of y'all, by the way, if any of y'all are on Twitch and I'm not following you, let me know. I definitely want to continue to build this and support this great community, man. I've gotten a lot of help from people over the last year, and I want to spread the love. So let me know if you're on Twitch. If you are, I'll look for you. Some of you I know I'm following already, but some of the new folks I won't be. And to answer your question, I'm turning a lid and finial for this box. And that will fit right there on the top. That does match that really nicely, so I just need to put a little bit of abrasive against that. Let's go with 220. Ah, nice, nice. Yeah, I turned myself one of those a couple weeks ago. I've had a few, but I had some nice pieces of wood. I wanted something a little bit bigger for myself that I could also open and close, do one-handed, take a pinch, throw it in whatever I'm cooking. So that's very cool, man. I think that's a handy little piece of kitchenware to have. This is a piece of really old cherry. It came off a four-corner bed out of a farmhouse. Um, I think the wood itself is, it's 80 plus years old. But, I mean, I haven't seen cherry that's this dark. Not up here, anyway. This is old timber. So I saved what I thought was turnable so that I could use it in the future, like for projects like this. Well, here goes nothing. I wanted to make that a ball, and I'm working with some really thin material right now. Try not to break it off. There we go. And then I can make this a little bit more rounded. Give it that shape. That works for me. And now we have our ball. Let's get in there with that. So I need my skew. And before I finish cutting that off, what do I do with it? Did it fall off the lathe? Let's turn that off for now. I just lost that now, so let's grab that. I lost that too. My hands quit working for some reason. Just dropping things all over. Where'd you go? There you are. Lost my Allen wrench and my magnet. All right, so I'm looking for a piece of abrasive that fell off the lathe, so I'll use this one. That's 150. I want 220. There it is. Ooh, I'm going to use my... Well, I'm a little bit over, but that's all right. I'm just about done, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my buffing balm on this. Maybe I'm not. I need a little bit of pressure. And I can't really put too much pressure on this piece right now. But you know, I think I gotta try. It's only a finial, right? I can turn another one. Not out of this clearly, but I can turn another one. Oh yeah, that's no. I just saw that shift. It's yeah, there's not going to be enough wood to do a buffing finish on it. Not while it's on the lathe anyway. So we'll just turn this off, screw, just like that. Let me see, let me grab this guy so I have a backer. Make it easier to sand. Cool. All right, so minus, oh, actually, I don't think this will fit in the jaws anymore, but let's find out. Let's look at that. Yeah, so you can see that there was definitely some, not only dry rot damage, but the ants got up that far. They didn't get into the ball of the thing, but they got up pretty high. Yep, that won't hold it. How about that? I don't need much. Just enough to hold it in place so I can do this. There we are. Done deal. All right, let's take that guy out. We can set this here. And that guy right there. So once I get some finish on these, and that actually looks really nice with that ant damage in there and dry rot. I think that looks really, really cool against this elm. So I'll be putting finish on that and showing you all this probably next week on Twitch. Yeah, the grain is really close to following the grain with the elm, so that actually adds to it, I think. Not sure which way to turn. I guess it doesn't really matter. I guess it'd be in the eye of the beholder, but the lines closely follow the elm here. So that's the finished box. Now we'll come all the way up to here. Let's get rid of that. Glasses over there. Okay, so my name is Dave. I'm a wood turner. I started turning as therapy for PTSD. I'm a disabled veteran, and I found that I had a knack for it, and I fell in love with the whole process. And it's definitely amazing therapy It's helped me a lot on a lot of. It's helped me a lot. Let's just put it that way. So I talk about it a lot with other veterans, but even other turners who aren't veterans tell me the same thing. They get a relaxing, therapeutic feel out of turning wood, and I think that is an amazing alternative therapy for people. I am not a therapist or a doctor or whatever. I'm a disabled vet, but I know from my own experience that wood turning is amazingly relaxing and therapeutic. It's helped me a lot. I know it can help other people too. So I started this channel to become a better teacher because I love to teach this stuff, a better demonstrator, and a better turner myself. The more I work with other turners, the
Why he's
more the
smiling
information
kindly,
I get out
said,
there gets
"Most
cemented into my whole own head, and so it continues to reinforce all those things that I've learned and things that I've practiced with, and then the things that I pass on comes right back up to me. So, thank you very much for joining me. That's the end of this broadcast for this evening. I'll be back again tomorrow night, 8 to 11 Eastern Standard Time. Typically, I'm running Tuesday and Wednesday nights. I didn't last week, but that's because I was visiting my daughter and granddaughter last week in New Hampshire. Wasn't passing that up. So, I hope you all have a great evening. Thanks for joining me this evening. If you like what you saw, please follow the channel here. You can check out. You know what? I'll type that in there and check out my YouTube for any past broadcasts. Um, Let me put that in chat real quick. The address of that: www.youtube.com. .com/. To that I didn't
active
mean to.
underscore ride."
So, all the past broadcasts, including this evening's, all go to my YouTube channel. So if you missed anything, you can always go back to my YouTube channel and check it out. Um, Please like and subscribe if you go to YouTube. Of course, that's how YouTube works. Channels get more exposure if they gain followers, just like Twitch. So thank you very much for both, and I appreciate all your support joining me this evening, and yeah, all the past evenings too, and all the help that I've had along the way. I appreciate your support. Thank you for tuning in. I hope to see you again tomorrow night. If not, next week, Tuesday and Wednesday, 8 to 11 Eastern Standard Time. I hope you stay friendly. I hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, and I hope to see you soon.
Richard in Las Vegas said, "Thanks for the stream."
Thank you for joining me. I appreciate that. I hope to see you again. Take
Richard
care.
in Las Vegas said, "Victory hand."